Welcome to the channel. It seems that many people don't fully understand how the new gem works. So in this episode we will analyze Voice Spark in depth so that you can decide whether you should use it or not. And we will also compare it with other gems of this type. First, let's look at the description. Dealing damage conjures a voice spark for 6 seconds. While the voice spark is active, dealing damage has a 30% chance of unleashing lightning. That's chains to a maximum of 8 nearby enemies, dealing 45% base damage plus for 146 to each enemy. Lightning strikes can only trigger once every 1 second. Conjuring a voice spark and only occur once every 20 seconds. From rank 3, we additionally receive a bonus to attack speed. So let's take a closer look at what exactly is going on here. First, pay attention to the additional buff from this gem. This is quite important because in fact, the base 6 seconds is the length of this buff. It can be increased with Vithu or any beneficial duration, but actually this buff doesn't make the gem work. The operation is a little more complicated, but based on the description, we know that sparks can appear every second, but only if we deal damage. Moreover, there is only a 30% chance that the effect will occur in 1 second, and it repeats every second. So if the buff lasts 6 seconds, in practice we have 6 chances for sparks to appear, 8 seconds is 8 chances, and so on. Each second is a 30% chance regardless of the gem's rank. So as you can see, despite having to pieces of Vithus, Voice Spark only procs 3 times. Assuming that the target takes damage from us, we must also be at a sufficient distance. Otherwise, the effect will not occur or it will attack another close target. As an advantage, I can mention that the range is not the worst, but it certainly does not work at the full distance, so it will work best for close and mid-range classes. I also checked whether the frequency of dealing damage to one target increases the number of sparks, and it looks like consistent attacks may cause the gem to apply more frequently, but it's safe to say that the more often you apply damage, the greater the chance that the damage you deal will be included in the calculation for a particular second. But can we do something to make sparks occur more often than 30% per second? We can. When we deal damage to more enemies at the same time, the chance is calculated for each target separately, which means that the more targets receive damage, the greater the chance for sparks. In this case, the effect was practically occurring every second. So, as in the case of Gloom Cask, the attack speed is a determinant. In the case of Voice Spark, we will achieve much better results by attacking several opponents at the same time. With all that being said, Voice Spark will be best for melee or mid-range classes that simply stay in combat with the opponent for a long time. Additionally, it's good if they have the ability to deal relatively frequent area damage. However, it is undoubtedly a gem that provides us with an additional source of damage. So let's check it and compare it with other gems of this type. For this purpose, I will use Voice Spark, Gloom Cask, and Starfire Shard, and I will check the damage on one target. Keep in mind that I will be constantly attacking, so theoretically, this is the best situation for Voice Spark and Gloom Cask. For Starfire Shard, it's not that important. As you can see, Gloom Cask, even without extra attack speed, out damage Voice Shard. Starfire Shard does the least damage, but does not require constant attack. Also, to pieces of Vithus do not increase his damage as in the case of the previous two gems. So although it does not seem to be the best option, choosing Starfire Shard guarantees us the most consistent results, which is quite important in the case of PvP. But does this mean that Voice Spark is a weak gem? Definitely not. I think it is very good, especially for melee classes to reach distant targets. So Blood Knight, Crusader, Conflagration Barbarian, and definitely use this very effectively. In the case of PvE, it will work for practically everyone, but only for high-density grinding. If you want to focus damage on one target, then Voice Spark will not be the best solution. I hope that after watching this episode you know whether you should use this new gem or not. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to be up to date with new episodes. And as always, thanks for watching.